oddest amongst the odd bunch?
Megha.
Who's the oddest?
Oddest. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, Abhay, coming to you, what made you decide to produce this film with a bunch of oddities? So what was it?
Well, I mean, it's become my thing now, after 15, 16 years of, constantly trying to move away from formula and create a niche or just have an alternative voice to the mainstream, to tradition, to break away from culture. So I suppose it's now come to that point where people just come to me. Only those kind of people come to me because they know that I'll listen to them, and if I like something, I'll do whatever I can to prop it up, and that's how this came about. I met with Film Caravan, who are doing some amazing work, and they really went on the ground and got made. So I'm just really fortunate that we got to make it, and that Netflix is here, because without Netflix, it would be hard to kind of get a film like this out.
That's my second question. What were the odds of this film being released in a normal
I
scenario?
don't think the odds were in our favor. I mean, even when I did, whatever films I've done, most of them, like at least 80% of them, they were always the question whether release or not. And I would say a lot of did release, but really badly because it would do well. So theatrically speaking, they took a beating because there were not enough screens, not enough money to. So the OTT platforms are kind of democratizing in that way.
So, Yashwasini, sorry if I have got your name right. It's quite a tongue twister. Sorry.
It is.
So could I just
Yashwasini.
Yes, sorry. So I'll just call you Vivek. I mean, I could resonate with your character because you said antisocial, because I am antisocial. I'm living my dream life in this quarantine. So did you and Karanveer relate to your characters of Vivek and Ashwin?
Yeah, I think we sort of at one point had internalized our characters enough to have that similar dynamic even off camera. Like, so I don't know, Karan, you say something.
No, I mean, she's right. I think it was like about 35-40 days of continuous shoot that we were a part of, and most of my scenes, or all my scenes, are with her. And we used to spend so much time together, and obviously we were mentally engrossed in the script that I think our behaviors were just very similar to our characters after one point of time. For instance, in the morning, because we wanted to catch the golden light, and at 6 a.m. in the morning, this girl used to be blazing in her vanity, listening to Bruno Mars music, and going all gaga, and I was like, okay, I just need some time off in the morning. Then
Excuse me. Sorry?
Sorry?
You know what blazing means, right? I don't think you quite mean it in the way it's traditionally interpreted.
No, not in that way. I mean like blazing speakers.
Also, in my defense, Karan had this thing where he would sit in a corner with his earphones on and listen to classical music, and that's how he got into his zone. So, like, we can all have our own processes. I'm just not a morning person, so I needed like music to like wake me up and let my brain register that I think you have to do activities now. And we started off with the school. We started shoot with all the school sequences, and 6 a.m. we're up, 7 a.m. we're running across the school and doing that scene where he's chasing me right after the water cooler. So I needed Bruno Mars to awaken all the cells in my body.
24 karat.
Yeah.
So, Abhay, what was it like for you with the kiddos? Was it like, since you're the voice of reason in the movie, so what was your process like?
Look at that face. He's like, yeah, these kids.
That was it. You see, I was surrounded by these kids, and so it was pretty natural for me to slip into that role. And I suppose being the producer on this one, it became even more so easier to play the responsible adult that my character is in the film. Maybe if I was just the actor in this, I would not have taken that role on naturally. I would have performed it. But in this case, because I was protective of my cast and my crew, it was natural. I didn't try too hard getting into it. And as Yash said, and Karan agreed, that Megha's the oddest one in our lot. I'd read the script, I'd interact with Megha, so I knew she was quirky, and I was expecting this film to be quirky. So I didn't want to do too much to take away from that. I really let it be in her hands and put myself in her hands.
And the thing is, now this is the new normal, and what I'm really enjoying is the new normal when it comes the the normal that's coming in the narratives now is the oddities, whether it's like a normal people. Sally Rooney's book was amazing. The show has done well. You have this odd couple as well. Do you think it's now a healthy change in terms of narratives? People are willing to go beyond the tried and tested.
Sorry, are you saying that, is it that with this pandemic and people being shut in, they're more open to newer ideas, different ideas?
That also, but otherwise also.
Oh, are they more so inclined or open?
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah.
To
see the oddities in life.
I don't know, because there's been some mainstream stuff that's come out in this time, and I don't think it's done very well, and the oddities seem to be doing so. But then I think that's just been a trend that's been picking up the past year or so. I think when I was doing this, whatever, in 2007, 8, 9, it was a battle to make them. It was a battle to release them. And so with the OTT platforms coming in and a generation that's now almost 20, they've grown up with world stuff and exposed to world culture. And so this generation is more differently conditioned to the one before it. So it's just a natural progression. Many things kind of come together to push us in that direction. I think technology has the biggest part to play in it.
Let me ask the kiddos, the young ones, since we are the older ones, what do you guys have to say about it? Are you happy? Are you willing to try the tried and tested? He was the odd one out in his time.
Yeah, so my first film ever I did was Phobia with Radhika Apte, directed by Pawan Teplani. And when that film was out, I think we were out of the theaters in a week and a half, and people had barely gotten a chance to even know that the film existed. But everyone who saw it loved it. So I completely understand I had like a tiny glimpse of what Abhay must have had gone through all these years. And that was sort of also like the turning of the waves that the OTTs, at least the content for the OTTs was already starting to be made, because within a year or two, we were auditioning for Made in Heaven and Delhi Crime and Inside Edge, and all of that was happening. So that's sort of where everything changed. And also people who didn't necessarily want to watch a lot of mainstream were sort of like the flag bearers for the OTT, because suddenly what they wanted to watch was available and cool, and also like widely just there. It was just around, and it was okay that it was on our phones and our laptops and not on a screen. It didn't necessarily make it smaller and inconsequential. So I don't remember what the question was, but I feel like I did a good job at answering.
No, at the moment, none of us know what the question is. So currently, what about you? And another thing I want to ask you is, why are you always playing the perfect boy in your films? Whether it's Election Day or whether it's What Are the Odds?
But I wasn't perfect in Selection Day. I was a bully. I was bullying people around.
Yeah, but you came across, you were shown as the perfect boy, no? We met during Selection Day.
Yeah, like I redeemed myself later in the series. But
I mean, you see him as a perfect boy, Pooja. You look at him and go, he's perfect. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna shut this camera now. I'm going to relax.
Karan is right now just so happy because he's getting so much female attention. He is on some other planet.
Oh yeah, Abhay used to get a lot of that. He used to be called the intelligent woman's sex symbol, right? You remember? Shobha De's famous quote.
Who, me?
Yeah, for you, the intelligent woman's sex symbol.
That is such a specific sex symbol.
A thinking woman's sex symbol. And I was like, what do you have to say about that? And I said, I just hope they don't think twice. That's all I have to say. Yeah. But no, this is about Karan.
Yeah.
I mean, how I see it, I think the 3 characters that I've played till now, and this is my first film. So how I approached them was, I had this insight that they were very different characters, but I think it happened to be so the way, I think the final product looks like it, that I'm playing this perfect guy. But acting wise, I think it was quite different. And And I don't know. It's fun to play the perfect guy sometimes if you get that much of female attention. So I'm okay with that.
But I mean, talking about the lockdown, how's that treating you? Your movies come at the perfect time when people are consuming content on OTT. But otherwise, how is the lockdown treating you? Is the uncertainty about what lies ahead worrying you all? You don't know what lies ahead in terms of when it comes to movies. How are we going to shoot? And
At the moment, I'm feeling like very, very fortunate with whatever's happening in like our lives, especially because we were anyway, we're sitting at home. The max we can complain about is, "Arey, bartan phir se karne padenge." And now we have a distraction from that because we have a movie releasing in a pandemic. So, like, I don't like to think that this is a perfect time. It's great that we can be there to help some people like ease whatever trouble they might be going through. In that way, it does feel like the perfect time because as long as we're just helping, being part of the solution, even though there is no solution, it's great right now. But otherwise, like lockdown, I'm not worried about future work because I'm just like trying to enjoy what is happening right now work wise. I'm secure in the fact that I know I'm not going to be working for the next couple of months, and thankfully I live with my parents, so I don't have to worry financially. So in that way, I'm not going through any troubles. And yeah.
Abhay, what about you? Do you think the narratives are also going to change before COVID, post COVID, and also the industry has taken a major beating?
It has, and everybody is asking this question in different ways. And to one person, I'd said, well, if the new normal is going to be wearing masks, then films would reflect that, because films show what the reality is. But the bigger impact is going to be, I think we'll come back to something of what's normal. In fact, I'm scared that we'll come back to normal and people will forget that we'll always have this sort of threat of the environment coming back to hit you because we are destroying it. And so in a way, this is an opportunity for us to rethink and reshape. It's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. But unfortunately, once there's a pill to take care of this, then people will go back to their normal lives. So the new normal should be, even if we find the cure or even if it slows down, we need to rethink the way we structure our societies. I think capitalism and neoliberalism has really proved to be a failure. And we can't go on like this. You can't make billions and billions of dollars indefinitely because this is a finite planet. And some bigger questions need to be asked and our priorities need to be set. And so as far as, if I was more specifically talk about my industry, I think of things like the theaters and how they will probably open in phases, how they will take a beating. Most films are going to go digital. There'll always be some way out. If the new normal is masks, we show films where we're wearing masks. All that is fine. But for us to not be killed by environmental causes is becoming less and less likely. We are going to die of climate-related causes, and people having children today should rethink having children today. I think that's how I feel.
Wow.
I agree with you.
Sorry, guys.
Karanveer is very quiet.
Thanks, man.
Sorry,
But I have like jokingly said it sometimes that the way things are going right now, I feel like the smartest thing to do is probably like freeze ovaries and keep them aside. And once like the planet seems like it's a safe place.
Yeah, another one of those futuristic dystopiality that we are living will come to true. So you'll have some frozen faces, wearing capes and masks. That's not. We'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there. Karanveer, what about you? What do you have to say about the new normal?
No, I think Abhay described it quite apt, in the way he did. And I just hope that people, when we get out of this, are a little more sensitive towards each other because, we've spent so much time with ourselves. And I think that's something that for me is the biggest plus point, if you can say, as privileged people who have roofs over heads, to just be sensitive. And, as soon as we get out, I think rather than the brash and the way we used to operate before the lockdown. I think I hope people are more gentle towards each other and are more accommodating and are more respectful. I think that's something which is going to be the biggest takeaway for me, at least. Spending so much time by myself and trying to introspect what human nature is at the end of the day, rather than just doing your work and trying to earn the bucks, which is a necessity, but that's not the only thing that we live for, I feel.
Abhay, we saw you as a music teacher in this, singing a song also. Will we see a lot more of that?
Well,
Melodies and symphonies?
He takes Yash's character into his wing and works with her, but it's actually a band. He has a band, he's a singer. Sorry, what was the
He's a
question?
rock star.
You being the next rock star singing.
I feel like I'm feeding my vibe into Abhay now. He's also like forgetting things.
Yeah, you're a bad influence on me, Yash.
Influence, that's the word. Funny, I should forget I'm an influencer.
Oh, yes.
But sorry,
Yeah.
what was the question?
The question was music.
Yeah, what
Music
about?
teacher, yeah.
Are you going to do more music?
Sorry, what? You all both spoke at the same time.
Will you do more music?
Would I do more music?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not a musician. I'll do more movies. I have acted, I've developed, I'm producing now. If the right script comes along, I might direct. My energies are going to go all over, the different aspects of filmmaking. As far as music is concerned, I've only done it when I've been forced to. I was never out of choice. I don't consider myself a singer. So no.
So before we wrap up, I want to ask you, since you're so candid, what's the oddest thing about Bollywood? Since we're talking about what are the odds? The oddest thing about Bollywood.
Honestly speaking, I'm so either because I was born in it or because I'm jaded or both. Nothing strikes me as odd. Maybe the oddest thing is that they're so predictable, if you can call that odd. That's always been my thing with Bollywood is it's boring and predictable, and it's a genre. I think one of the odd things is it's a genre, because every film has to have songs. Every film is bright. Every film has to have beautiful women and muscular men. There's a certain look you need to have. So it's a genre. It's not it doesn't allow individual voices. It doesn't allow characters that, don't conform. And that's been my thing right from the beginning. And I've stuck to my guns. And I'm still here.
It was lovely talking to you all. Just want to ask you all one question. The first thing you're going to do once lockdown is over and we are free. The first thing.
I'm just gonna give a hug to everyone from the Odd Squad. I think we've been talking on messages, we've been doing Zoom calls, but there's a different feeling, once your film is released and got such good reviews and love from people. I think we're just gonna have like a week full of parties if Abhay invites us.
Yes, I was just gonna come to that. Let you finish that. For that, you have to come to Goa.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Goa lucky Abhay.
Oh yes, we're a green zone since the 20th of April, so it's been brilliant.
Wow.
I give a lot of people from Bombay, Delhi want to move to Goa now. At least rent a house for a year, if not buy one.
Wow.
Yash, you go.
I'm ready to be adopted by Abhay Deol so that I can just like hang out with the Odd Squad and party and live life like we used to, and then like gradually transcend into the real life, because obviously I can't live there forever. But
We'll do some stuff. We'll make up some stuff. I have the equipment to do it.
And what are you going to do? The cheerleader of the Odd Squad. I'll join you guys too also because I'm pretty odd myself.
Please, you're more than welcome.
we'll probably make a dark sequel to the odd to one of the odds.
Take me on. Please take me on. I'm extremely odd. Don't find me odd.
I've known you for a few years and I highly agree. Yes.
See, there I have an endorsement.
Yeah. Odd is good. Yeah.
Odd is good.
Yeah.
Odd is great. Odd is what we need right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, cheers to the Odd Squad. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.